Hi everyone, welcome to Dente, Undercooked and Overworked. I'm your host, Jessie. Alright, so thank you everyone for tuning in again this week. I hope everybody enjoyed last week's little intro. So, I know on that last one I said today that I was going to be talking about some of my work experiences, you know, not getting along with coworkers or coworkers specifically not getting along with me. So a lot of them are kind of actually similar stories now that I look back, 'cause, I prepped for today, and majority of the stories are me and another coworker really getting along and somebody feeling excluded, which I get. Nobody wants to feel excluded, but also this is a job. We're not here to be best friends with everyone. And I think everybody can relate that in the workplace, you'll always really get along with one or two people. I guess it depends how big of a place you work at, but if it's a smaller place, you'll most likely only really get along with one or two people. If it's a larger place, 4 or 5 probably. Not everybody has the same exact personality, and that's okay. That is what makes the world go round, ladies and gentlemen. So the first story is this older woman. She was 45-ish, I would say, and this girl and I who worked together, we were 19 and living our best life, and she felt hurt, extremely hurt, that we weren't her friend as well. My first question to you is, why do you want to be friends with two 19-year-olds? Just throwing that out there. You have a child, you have a husband. We are two single 19-year-olds that just like to go out after work and be stupid. So that was my first bullying accusation. And what happened was, she would come into work and start saying I'm not gonna let anybody get me down today. And I just didn't really have a reply to that, because I don't know why I would. And so that would go on for a while, and my other coworker and I, we would just be doing our thing, splitting a dinner after work, or going out after work, or just hanging out when there was downtime during the day. So she told on us and quit. So the next day, our boss came up to us and said, let's give her a name. Michelle quit because of you two, and you can't treat people that way. So at first I thought it was a joke because, again, I do not think I was bullying this woman at all. And I said, well, what did I say to her? And they said to me, it's what you didn't say. So somebody quit because I wasn't talking to them about their personal life. Because if she had a work question or something, I absolutely answered it, because I'm not an idiot and I'm not a mean person. So yeah, she quit because I was not interested in her personal life. So watch out. If you don't get along with somebody at work, they might quit if you don't ask them questions about their personal life. And then the second one happened at the same place. I actually have 3 stories about this place. There's more, but I can't get into them all today, or else this episode would be 5 hours long. So I'll talk about those 3 back to back. This place was just a mess that I worked at, and super mismanaged, obviously, if all these people are quitting because of one person that's not bullying them, but is bullying them. The other one, it was the same situation. My coworker and I were getting along and joking around together, and that just upset her, and she quit. I don't remember her exact reason, but it was, my name was dropped, my other coworker's name was dropped, and she was just upset. But this girl had also been caught stealing from one of her other jobs, which we heard through the grapevine because it was a small town. So I wasn't overly friendly because I didn't want to be stolen from. So, that's on you for stealing. Okay, last story about this place. Another 50-year-old coworker complained about me. So it all started back when we were working together. So Sundays, there was a bartender and a server. Server got the tables, bartender got the bar. And usually the bar was busier on Sundays. Even though there was more tables, the bar definitely filled up more. Like Sunday football, Sunday whatever is on the television. People came in and we had like bar specials, like $2 Miller Lights or whatever. And that just tended to bring in a bar crowd opposed to a table crowd. However, this one Sunday, tables were really busy, and this couple walked in who comes in often, and they are known to spend a lot of money and to tip very well. So obviously everybody wants their table, but you have to stick in your section. So my coworker, we'll just call her, let's think of a name. We'll call her Karen. And Karen says to me, "Oh, I'll take that table for you since you're so busy." Like, tried to spin it around to make it seem like she was helping me. And I said, "You know what? I'm actually okay and I'm gonna take them." And then she pulled out, "Well, they're my friend." And I was like, well, that's okay. Like, you're more than welcome to say hi to them, but I'm gonna take that table because they're in my section and that's your section, this is my section, I'm busy, you're not. That is the way of the world. So she was furious with me, like, when not even like a little like, we've all been mad at a coworker before and you're just like, like, you're like, do that little like look to them and then you're over with it. She was furious with me. She also was a really big drinker and already hated working Sundays because she was always hungover from Saturday night. Yes, she did work Saturday nights. So in between closing time, which was, 1 or 2 o'clock a.m., and the next day, she would drink a lot and be hungover for work. So she told my boss that I gave her heartburn and high blood pressure. Watch out. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of, when that was told to me that I gave a coworker high blood pressure and heartburn, was I proud of myself? I was. No, who says that about someone? It's not like she's mean or she, is not taking tables in her section. She's not cleaning up after. No, I give you heartburn. Well, Karen, maybe you have heartburn because you've never had a sip of water in your life. And the high blood pressure, you only eat rare meat. So I can't. This woman only drank soda, alcohol, or coffee, and only ate red, rare meat, and like spicy stuff. Like, she would put, what's that stuff called? Not like Frank's Red Hot, whatever, the other stuff. She would only put hot sauce, like, on everything, and I've never seen her eat a vegetable. Like, she would get beer cheese soup and put hot sauce in it. Like, that's nasty to me. I'm sorry, you don't have a medical condition from me. Start eating a little better. So, moving on to my first hair salon complaint, which was the first salon I worked at. Everybody there was like 40 plus, except for me and 2 other girls. We'll call this girl Tammy. So Tammy was probably like 2 or 3 years older than me, and then there was Rachel, who you will meet on this podcast, and she was 10 years older than me, but Rachel and I really got along, so we would try to schedule like lunches together or like chat in the back when there was nothing going on. I'd go to her for advice because that was my first job right out of cosmetology school, so I didn't know like a lot. So I would talk to her, and that was apparently very hurtful to Tammy. A little backstory on Tammy. She would wear work boots, yoga pants, and a Curves t-shirt to work. Her hair was always greasy, and she did not wear makeup, which is fine. Not saying you have to wear makeup, but if you work in the beauty industry, I do expect you to look presentable. especially if you're gonna do my hair, I would appreciate it if your hair wasn't greasy. So yeah, I wasn't going to her for any advice, which again, my bad, super hurtful. So our manager came up to Rachel and I one day during lunch and said, you know, girls, Tammy is feeling really left out, and I'd really appreciate it if you ate lunch with her. And I just said, I said I don't have to be friends with her. I'm professional towards her. I'm cordial. I say hi, how are you? I'll entertain her for as long as possible. And I'm not going to be friends with her though. I don't have to eat lunch with her to make her feel better about herself. And my manager, she was understanding about that, but she still was really pushing it that Rachel and I to like hang out with her, which just wasn't going to happen. I'm not going to be miserable at work because somebody wants to be best friends. So, if you've ever been in a situation like this, don't feel bad about yourself because you don't have to be friends with everyone, which I think can get really like a gray area kind of, if you're being friends with some people you work with and not friends with other people you work with. But at the end of the day, your coworkers first and friends second. So if you make a friendship with someone, keep that in mind. You are coworkers first, and you don't have to be friends with everyone. It's like you're not friends with everyone at school, or like if you go to church, you know, you don't have to be friends with all your neighbors. As long as you're like a polite person and you're doing your job, you don't have to be friends with everyone. So that's my message for you guys today. So I'm going to wrap it up with my last story about the current hair salon I'm at. This girl no longer works there. She quit because our receptionist at the front desk and I were in cahoots and ganging up on her and being mean to her. Yes, watch out. I have a bad track record. Don't apply at any job I work at. So I was at the front desk one day talking with our receptionist about children and an age where I would not personally want to be a first-time parent, which was 40. I said I personally wouldn't have a kid over 40 if it were my first one. I didn't say it's stupid that people do that. I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say 40 was old. I just said it's not something that I would do. And we were talking about that, and our coworker was with a client, but obviously eavesdropping on our conversation, we were talking very quietly at the front desk. So I'm in the back, and she comes back to me and says, oh, and just so you know, 40 isn't old. And I was kind of I was like, wait, what? She was like, you said 40 was old to be a parent, and it's not. I said, well, I said 40 is kind of old to be a first-time parent. And she was like, well, it's not. My husband's 40 and our son is 1. And I said, well, in my opinion, I do think that's older to be a first-time parent. Again, I didn't say it's wrong or bad or that your kid's gonna have a horrible life because you're a little bit older. And she was 30, and there was like a 10-year age difference between her and her husband. I never said it was wrong or like disgraceful. I just said I personally wouldn't do it, which, you know, my body, my choice. So she ended up quitting a couple months after that because, you know, we weren't booking her, and I was telling the front desk to give me her clients. She only worked 2 days a week. So if a client needed to get in on a Wednesday and you only work Thursday and Friday, guess what? Like, they're gonna be in my book. And that really upset her. And for any of my hairstylists, you know, everybody has a handful of people at their salon that are really greedy with their clients and don't want anyone else touching them. And that's because they're scared that you're gonna do a better job and that their client isn't gonna come back to them and they're gonna stay with you. So if somebody gets like that, that's why. So next week, I can't wait to get back with you guys. We are going to be talking about things clients have said or shown to me and my coworker, Rachel. She'll be on the show with us. So clients say really weird things to you, and they'll show you really weird things. They'll talk about their sex life, their family, like their bowel movements. They'll show you weird rashes. Things get like, it gets weird when you are personally touching someone and being with them for a little bit. They just spill their guts and they think that like you just want to know all this information about them. And I never do, but I always appreciate it because it makes for great stories. So a couple of you guys wrote in, and I will be sharing your stories next week because they were right on point with what I was going to be talking about. So I can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.